All right, so the first card you have your past is the King of Swords. Okay, so I think this is about, because he's on a hill and he can see everything. And I think with you, you got out of one situation, and then I think you thought, okay, here's my chance, I'm going to do this thing. It's interesting, it's exciting. It might have been something like traveling, it might have been something like joining in a new thing, starting something new. There were people around this. I keep on seeing moving or traveling. It's something to do with getting out of where you are and going to somewhere else for a while. So it might not be actually traveling, but that's what I'm seeing. It's like getting out of your routine, getting out of your normal thing to do something different. Now what I'm seeing is you tried to do this thing, and I think it's something you wanted to do for a long, long time. You were thinking about this. You went to do this, and I think it was okay, but I don't think it was exactly how you imagined. It wasn't really quite, it didn't quite live up to what you wanted. That's what I'm getting. So, you enjoyed it, you learned a lot from it. I think you took a lot of things away from that time. I think you felt quite positive about this. You're quite philosophical. Okay, I've done that. I've got that out of my system. That's the kind of feeling I'm getting around this. Also, it's like, I've got myself out of a bad situation. I think you got out of a bad relationship or something like that. And then you kind of took this time out to get into a totally new area or something, or to do something completely different, get yourself out of where you were for a while and to kind of explore whatever that was. And then it was like, no, that wasn't quite what I wanted, but I'm glad I tried it. I'm glad I did it. I learned a lot from it. I have a new outlook. I feel very fresh. I feel very new because of that. But it's not what I want to do. It's not where I want to stay, if it's a place, or it's not the sort of thing I want to stay doing. So that's what I'm getting now. And it's totally out of your system now. I think you've learned a lot from that time. It's kind of set you free in a way as well. I'm just looking at these butterflies and these birds on this card, because it's like for a long time you were thinking, I want to do these other things. I've got all these other kind of little ideas I've got, like for business or for something like that, side things, little kind of extra work I can do, contracts, jobs. It's some work kind of thing. And it's like a little thing, a little side thing. And I think you were thinking about that and other ideas as well. And you had all these things that you're thinking, I'll do that and I'll do that sometime. But no, I'll put them aside because I really want to see if I can do this one thing. And you did this thing. It was travel, or it was something that got you out of where you were. You did that. It wasn't what you wanted. And now you can kind of put that out of your system, put that aside, and you can open up these other new things now. So it was good. It was disappointing in a way, but then it kind of gave you this new outlook, and you could kind of move on. That's what I'm seeing in that card. I hope that makes sense to you. All right, so the next card you have your past is Temperance. Okay, so I think when you wanted to do this, when you first, or not when you first, but I think you've always wanted to do that thing that you got out of your system. And I think when you were in a relationship, I am seeing an axe here. So when you're with this particular person, this axe, I think they might have promised this to you. Oh, we'll go here and we'll do this. They made lots and lots of promises, not just about going to this thing or doing this thing. It's like they made all these promises, all sorts of promises, big ones, little ones, about silly little things, even like, oh, I'll do this little thing, and then they didn't do it. Very, very, very stressful, very difficult person to deal with. A lot of empty promises. That's what I'm seeing, a lot of empty promises. I think you did rely on this person. I think you relied more than you should have, but a lot of it was you were being promised things, and it was like you wanted to believe them, because I'm getting this, oh, I really want this to be real. I want this to happen so much. That's what I'm getting. And you did have doubts. I can see that. But I think a lot of the time when you're with this person, you pushed them away. And I think then one day you just realized it's not going to happen. This isn't going to happen. The days are going past. The months are going past. There's no progress. I'm not going to get this. I'm not going to be able to do this. And so you just gave up. And I'm also getting this person wanting to take over a lot of things. It's like, I'll take charge, I'll take care of that. And it's like, and even with things, little things, it was like, oh, don't you do that. I'll take care of that for you. It might be I'll pay that bill, or I'll go and sort that out for you, whatever it is. And then you feel like, oh, great, fantastic. I don't have to deal with that. Someone else is helping me. Fantastic. And then later on, you'd find out they didn't actually do it. So very, very, very stressful, very bewildering. You kind of don't know where you are. Has that been done or not? They said that, but does it mean they've actually done it? So that's all of that kind of energy I'm getting around that person. So you just had to let them go. And with this big thing here in the King of Swords that you went on and did yourself, sorry about that noise. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. Truck or something. Okay, so yeah, okay, I've totally lost my track of thought. So anyway, now with that calm, sorry about this. Is why I hate noises. I get so distracted by them. I really lose everything. Anyway, so what I'm seeing now is you were with this person, and I think even though they were very frustrating for you, you still really wanted it to happen. You wanted to be like, oh, I want to have a future with them. I really do. And I think you put a lot of roots down with this person. There are a lot of roots in your mind and in your heart, if that makes sense. And when you had to kind of pull away from this person, it really wasn't easy at all, because you had to pull up all these roots. And I think even when you'd kind of decided to leave them or move on or whatever, and you're kind of in the process of pulling up these roots, there was still a little part of you, I think, that wanted to come back to them. It was like, what if it's true? You know, what if I'm walking away and they've promised all these things? What if they can actually happen? What if it'll happen eventually? I might be walking away from something and you know, it might happen. But you were absolutely right. You were right, because it wasn't going to happen. You're right to walk away. That's what I'm seeing. Because, you know, I think, yeah, there's a lot of healing on this card. I think you've healed from this as well. Sorry, I'm losing my track of thought because I'm hearing these noises and I'm getting a lot of different things I'm seeing. Yeah, you healed. I think you got through this. I think you still have a lot of healing to do. I don't think you're quite there, but you're kind of almost there. And I think you did this thing for yourself that wasn't, they couldn't promise to you, or they did promise, but they didn't do it for you, or they didn't deliver this. You went and did this for yourself. And I think that got you out of everything for a while. It got your mind out of everything for a while. So it wasn't just a distraction, though. It was a big thing for you. And I'm glad you did that. But now you're kind of finished that, and you have to come back to your real life, and you have to deal with all these other roots. So you're pulling them out. You're getting through that. And I think you're quite positive. I'm not getting a lot of negativity here. I know it's not nice, and it wasn't fantastic and happy, of course, when you're, you know, when you're breaking up with someone and when you're going through these disappointments. Of course, they're not happy, but I'm not seeing you sitting around wallowing in this. I think you're quite logical. Your logical mind takes over things quite often, and I think that's what happened here. So it was like, okay, that didn't work. Yes, it hurt, but I can see I've learned from that. And I think this other thing I did, I've learned a lot from that as well. So it's like, okay, I can move forward now. I know it's going to hurt a bit, but yes, I'm very philosophical about that as well. So that's what I'm seeing there. That's what I'm seeing there. So you're quite logical about things, even though it did hurt. Your logical mind was kind of at the front of everything else. Okay, so I'm sorry I got so distracted while that was going on. So the last card you have your past is the Seven of Wands. Yes, big battle. Okay, so yeah, you've gotten away from all this now, physically anyway. There's a bit of tiredness around you, very, very tired. It's like you're at peace, more than you were anyway, but you still have a lot to unpack in your mind. I think you've done some. There's still more to go, I think. Lots of roots that still have to be pulled up as well. And that just takes time. It takes effort. It's tiring because I'm feeling this tiredness around you. You know, if you look at old trees, and sometimes they have roots that kind of stick up above the ground, they're really big and heavy and they're strong. And if you tried to pull up one of those roots with your hand, it'd be absolutely impossible because they're all right under the ground and they're all kind of making more roots, and then they grow, more comes out of that, more grows out of that, that goes on and on forever. So you've got a lot to unpack, a lot to get through. So if you need to take breaks, you do that. Do what you can and then take breaks. That's what I'm seeing. You've got a lot you're dealing with internally, so it just takes time to do that. And it is tiring, mentally tiring. The other thing is, I think you might have had to defend this person, this ex, from people, maybe family, friends. Maybe you avoided talking about them because you had to kind of, people might have been saying things. I'm seeing a lot of disapproval around them. And that's exhausting as well. That's tiring. So it's kind of like, okay, I don't have to do that anymore, but I'm still very exhausted. It was a big trial and I'm just so exhausted. So you've got to do that. You've got to kind of get yourself through that. You know, just take your time, work through each thing as it comes. Things are going to come up and they're going to hurt, and you've just got to say, okay, that's just another route I've got to unpack and get rid of, and kind of pull up slowly, and I need to rest when I can. Also, I feel as if I have to tell you this, make sure you're sleeping properly. Go to bed early if you can do that. Eat properly, eat healthy food, take care of yourself, and that, you know, if you take care of your physical self, that'll help you mentally as well. They're all connected. It's all connected. So I just wanted you to take care of yourself as well, because there's a lot of tiredness I'm feeling here. Okay, so the first card you have, your present, is the Wheel of Fortune. So yeah, you've learned from all of this. This is this philosophical, this kind of logical mind that you have. And so you've learned from this, you've experienced these things. And I think this thing that you did, whether it was kind of being away, whether it was traveling, I keep on seeing traveling, but it might not have been that. It's like a new outlook. It's like you're used to seeing the same thing, home, work, whatever. Then you go to this different place and it's a different outlook. Different things you're seeing with your eyes. So might not have been travel, but that's kind of the obvious possibility that could be. But it gave you a lot of new, fresh insights. I don't know, it might have been a hobby, it might have been a new group, might have been a totally new thing, or something totally new. So I think that helped you personally. It still is. It's helping you. You know what? This is helping you with this new side business or job thing that you're thinking about doing. You've got a lot of ideas you had before you went away and did this thing. You didn't do anything about it because you got this thing out of your system. Now you can come back and think about that again. But you've also got all these new things that you've learned from this thing you did. Outlooks, ideas, feelings, you know, new feelings. It feels new, it feels fresh. You can add all of those to this thing and you can make it into a really dynamic, amazing thing. And I think you're going to have a lot of success with this. This is the Wheel of Fortune. You have the King of Pentacles under this as well. So I think this is leading you into this new thing that you want to do. I think you might have also this kind of fresh new feeling of seeing this new thing and being in new places and all of that. It might have made you, inspired you to change things around your house, change your clothes, things like that. Now, people often think, okay, well, what's so fantastic about that? That's not important. So what? So you bought a lamp. Who cares? So you bought a shirt, you bought a t-shirt. I don't care. That's nothing. No, it's not. Because what we surround ourselves with and what we put on ourselves in terms of clothes and the colours and the things we have, they affect our moods every single day. If you're living in a rundown place, if you're living in a place that you're not happy with, if you're living around people that you're not happy with, it's going to affect your mood. If you have to go outside of your front door every day, you're facing things you're not happy with, it's going to affect your mood. You can't always do everything about that. I know people can't get up and move homes and whatever. It's not always affordable. But things like buying some little things around your house, colours you like, posters you like, things, cushions, little things, even a candle, tiny things, can make a huge difference about how you feel about your life, your surroundings and yourself. And so I think that's what you were starting to do as well. And it was kind of inspiring you and helping you as well. If you were traveling, it might be something like, you know, you were bringing something back from your travels, something maybe brightly coloured that you put in your home, and then that inspired you to get more things to kind of go with that. You might have bought things in the same colour combinations or something. That's what I'm getting, and it's very inspiring, very uplifting, and it's kind of bringing you out of the old. So keep that up, keep that feeling up, keep the ideas up. If you're getting lots of ideas about this side business or this thing you're thinking of, write them all down, write the feelings down, write the colours down, write everything down. Doesn't matter if it makes sense or not, because I want you to come back and get that sense of this new, fresh feeling. And that's what you want to going to want to tap into when you do this kind of side thing. Now, this side thing is not some great big enormous, business. You're not going to start making a new Amazon or whatever, but it is decent. It's a decent amount of money. It's quite lucrative. You've got the King of Pentacles. So it's not huge. It's not millionaire thing, but it's a good enough side thing for you. It's going to add to you financially, and it's going to add to you emotionally and psychologically, because it's you're putting all these new colors and these new things and these new ideas into that. So very, very interesting, very exciting. And it's something you can focus on as well. It's something you can really focus on and work towards, which I think you need as well, because you're coming out of this old situation. Okay, so the next card you have your presence, the King of Pentacles. See again. Yeah, lucrative. So you're going to make some money out of this if you go into this and again, take all these exciting new fresh things with you and the feelings into that, and that's how it's going to become a success. And make money, because you've got the King of Pentacles. And again, I'm seeing these roots. Look at this King of Pentacles. He's got all these vines all over him. He's got wildlife all over him. It's horrible. So, roots are really hard to pull up. He can't stand up because he's got all these vines all over him, kind of all stuck to him. So you've still got all of that to pick up. You've got all those roots as well. Yeah, I don't really have to say much else about this card, because it's about, this side thing that you're thinking of. You're probably still thinking of all these ideas, but you're changing your feeling and your mindset and all of that, and that's going to help you with that, and with you, with how you feel about yourself as well. So it's really good, really positive. So keep on going along that way. Again, don't lose that feeling. That's what I'm seeing again. Okay, so the last card you have your present is the Queen of Cups. Okay. All right, so I think there's someone in your energy. I don't think they're physically around you, but they're around your energy, definitely. There's a lot of emotion here. Obviously, this is the Queen of Cups. There's some regrets. Yeah, there's a lot of regrets around this person. There's deep feelings, very deep feelings. They're keeping their feelings to themselves right now, because this Queen's holding this cup, but there's a lid on the top. So she's putting a lid on her feelings. She's not hiding the feelings very well, because we can all see that she's very, very emotional. So this is just coming to, I'm seeing accusations here. I'm actually seeing accusations. I think this person was accused of something. I think you might have accused them of something, actually. And you were correct. You were correct in your accusation. And they denied them. That's what I'm seeing. They denied these accusations. So whoever this is, they denied something. They did do this thing. You know this, and you still know this. The facts still don't add up to you. They tried to tell you this and that, I think, and the facts didn't add up. They still don't when you think about this. That's what I'm getting. So I think they're thinking about approaching you. That's what I'm getting. They're thinking about approaching you. But the only way you'll be able to talk to them, the only way you're going to have anything to do with this person is if they own up to something. So I don't know if you'd be open to being their friend or whatever else this is. There might be love. I'm not seeing it that very clearly. I'm seeing more of a friend, but it could be a love connection. Yeah, they're going to have to own up to something if you want anything to do with them at all. And I don't think that's what they're going to do. I think they're still holding onto this kind of narrative of, no, I haven't done anything. I haven't done anything. And this whole reading is showing me that you need to look forwards as well. New outlooks, new inspirations, all of that. That's what you need to be focusing on. And I think this person represents the past problems, and you'll be dragging that all up again. Of course, you do whatever you want. If you want to see them, that's up to you. But I really think, there's a new opportunity here. There's a new thing you're going into. It's very interesting. It's very exciting. And I think if you start focusing on this person and all these problems, and you can try to focus on this person and not focus on this thing that you've accused them of, that they're not admitting, they're not opening up to, or they're not owning up to this thing, I should say. You can try and ignore that, but you can't, because it's always going to come back. Every time you're around them, you're going to think about that thing. things that they say, you're going to say, well, I don't know if I can believe that because they haven't told the truth on this other thing. So it's always going to come back. So I think unless they come clean or they don't see you at all, you're not going to be able to move forward. That's what I'm getting here. So you've got to be focusing on the future. So just think about all of that if that resonates. I'm always in trouble for telling people what to do, and I don't want to do that. But this is what I'm seeing here all over this reading. You'll need to keep on moving forward, and this person's still not going to be owning up to whatever this is. And you don't want to stay back there with anyone who's like that. That's just what I'm seeing now. Okay, so I'll move on to the next one. The first card you have for your future is the Ace of Swords. Yeah, look at this. This is the ultimate clarity card. It's like, I'm logic, I know what's happening. I'm well balanced because I know what the truth is. I've got my sword up as well. This person's going to come to me. They're going to say, oh, it wasn't me. I didn't do this. I didn't do that. And I've got my sword up in front of them. That's what I'm seeing here. So, if they have regrets and they know they're not being honest about whatever this is, and they come back, they try to stay around you, it's not good for them either, because they're always going to have this thing over their head as well. They're going to be thinking, oh, they don't believe this, or oh, I should be saying this, and oh, I feel really terrible. So it's not good for anyone. So again, they're either going to have to come clean or stay away. That's what I'm seeing again. So I think, just watch out for this as well, because I'm just looking at this olive branch, and it's on the left of this sword. And olive branches can symbolize a peace offering. So yeah, again, they're going to come forward at some time. That's what I'm seeing. They're going to try and offer you peace. And there's this big kind of push-pull energy here, because I'm looking at this sword, and it's like, double-sided sword, tug of war, two sides, pulling and pushing. That's what I'm seeing. They're going to be quite insistent, and they're going to be quite insistent, I think, that you talk to them, or that you believe what they have to say, because I think you're going to bring this thing up again and say, well, how can I trust you and come back to talk to you again if you still haven't admitted this thing? And they go, no, it's not true. Just listen to me. That's all the thing I'm seeing there. And you have a really strong sense of right and wrong. I think there was a time once when you would have forgiven them, because you used to forgive people quite easily. You don't do that now. You're not the opposite. You don't go around cynical all the time, but you're a lot more careful as to, who you do forgive and who you don't, and who you believe. So I don't think this is going to go well for them. Absolutely not. You might go backwards and forwards a little bit if you do decide to talk to them. But, if they're not owning up to things, there's just no point. There really is no point. That's what I'm seeing. So, and I think your mind's going to keep on going back to this fact that they're not admitting to. So, I don't think you're going to get this out in the open. I really, really don't. That's what I'm seeing now. That's what I'm seeing. And the warning is, keep your sword up in this card as well. So that's all I have to say there. Sorry, cross watchers. It doesn't mean this is about you. Okay. So the next card you have for your future is the Tower. Yeah. So here we are. Okay. I know no one likes this card. I don't think this is as bad. I don't think this is about you. And it's not as bad as it looks as well. So this is about foundations. If the tower's built on bad foundations, obviously it falls over. So this friendship or this relationship or this situation, whatever you had with this person who's going to try and talk to you, was not built on good foundations, because it was built on truths, and they're still not admitting to this. So that's the message in this card. You know that. They know that deep down as well. They do. I mean, if someone is lying, if someone's not telling the truth, they know that. So they're not going to admit it, but they know that. So it's going to be very difficult for them. This is going to be like a tower moment for them, I think, if or when you decide to say, no, I'm not interested at all in this. Yeah, it's going to hit them like a tower, and they're going to come down, because they're really going to feel as if I can convince them, I can talk to them, but no, they're not going to be able to do that this time. There are going to be struggles, I think. I'm seeing they see things one way, you see things in another way. But I think in the end, yeah, the tower is going to come down for them. You're just going to say no. And it's what's best for both of you. It absolutely is. This is a lesson for them. This is a big lesson, and I think they have to learn this lesson. So if that resonates with you, if this looks like this is kind of your story and what you're seeing here, yeah, it's a good thing for them. It's not going to feel good for you. It isn't. It really isn't. But it's what's best for both of you. All right, so the last card you have for your future is the Moon. Okay, this is really summing this whole situation up again. So, okay, I'll hold this up so you can see everything here. All right, so you're like the lobster in this situation. So you've experienced this other bad relationship that you weren't happy with. They promised you lots of things, and then you did this other thing and it wasn't what you wanted. So you're coming out of that, coming out of the water, you're coming up this path, you know you have these new fresh ideas, you've got this lucrative side thing coming up, you know it's there. So you're about to come up this golden path, and here's this person who's trying to convince you to listen to them. And I'm seeing them in this dog and this wolf, and they're at the side, because here's this tug of war again. You're coming up to them, they're pushing and pulling and pushing and pulling at either side. They're trying to say to you, no, stop, don't go on, don't go up that hill. I want to talk to you. Come back and talk to me. I didn't do this. I want to be around you again. No, no, no. And you're saying, no, I'm not going to let you tug of war me. That's not a word. But I'm not going to let you push and pull me from side to side, because while I'm going from side to side, I'm not moving upwards, and I want to move upwards. I want to get to where I want to go. And also, if I'm in this tug of war, someone's going to fall over eventually, and I don't want to be that person. So I'm going up past you. I'm going up to these big mountains up to the top, and that's where I'm going, and I'm not going to stop. So you're not going to stop and deal with this person. You might talk to them, you know, you might whatever, but I don't think you're going to end up going back and being in any kind of a relationship, friendship, or anything with this person. That's what I'm seeing